First talk of the day is going to be Kris from Mr. Beast. Is he a
the P word?
Yeah.
Yeah. This news just broke out today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
what
it's
happened
crazy
with that?
because a lot's happening where they're discovering things about Kris himself and what he did in the past. Even Sneaker brought up as well that he did some stuff that was kind of questionable in his past.
Yeah.
And there's an article on X, I believe, Bills, you can bring it up, where he speaks about like him talking to a minor.
Twitter page, FNF News.
Yeah, FreshandFit News right here.
Yeah.
There's a minor he was talking to about some weird stuff. Very weird stuff. So here's an article right here. Kris Tyson from Mr. Beast has been messaging a male minor since the minor was around 13 and Tyson was 20. That's
wild.
weird. Dude, 13 years old is kind of wild though. No?
Why? Okay.
Like, bro, that's weird, bro.
Why give me like, hey, do you agree with me? Yes. Objectively, yeah.
like, I'm an adult, bro. I'm past 18. Why am I texting a minor? That's weird.
Well, like the only way you should be texting a minor. Let's clarify this. There's like several occasions where it's cool. Hey, can I pick you up with my son? Are you guys at the soccer game? Can we pick you guys up? If you're a dad and it's your kid and he's with his friends and you're like trying to find out where they are, another okay time to text a minor. Hey, so my daughter is coming over. Please don't do anything stupid or I'll fuck you up. You know what I mean? That's cool. Hey, you want to see a sexually suggestive meme about hentai porn? I'm going to give it to the crowd here. Is that appropriate to send to a minor? Yes or no?
Probably not.
Hell no.
It's probably a big no.
Who watches hentai in the first place? That's just weird.
That's what this was about, though.
Yeah,
This was about, like, this wasn't... Okay, what I'm confused about with white privilege is Dr. Disrespect, okay?
Yes.
I got to be careful here, but from my understanding...
Do you want to switch to Rumble?
No, it's cool. It's cool. No, I'll be very cool here. From my understanding, am I wrong here? I was kind of out of the country. I was kind of off here. Didn't he get canceled for texting a 17-year-old some slightly inappropriate questions?
He did.
Okay. So that's obviously, like I've been living in Australia. My family's Australian. I'm a resident, right? In Australia, they have different consent laws there. It's a much younger age. I'm an American, so I'll just stick with 18. So anyone wants to quote me, I'll stick with 18 as my consent. But in other countries, like Australia, it's a first world country. Their consent is like 16 or whatever. And so that's interesting because it's like, okay, well, what he did was illegal in the state he did it in. But if you were in Texas or in another state or in Australia, it would have been legal. That's a whole other question, right? I'm not accustomed to that, but some people have that argument. But 13 isn't legal anywhere except for maybe like Mexico and then Saudi Arabia in 2009. So it's like, it does seem weird to be texting a 13-year-old in general.
Yeah.
Like about even normal stuff.
Yeah.
But sending edgy suggestive memes.
Why does a 13-year-old even have a phone, bro?
Yeah, should stop that. That should be
illegal.
illegal.
Even have phones.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, why even send them?
Give that nigga a beeper.
Where's your mom and dad, bro? Like, where's your parents?
Give him a beeper, bro.
Fucking a pear phone from a Nickelodeon. You know what I mean?
What the hell, man?
Not the Nickelodeon. Actually, no, Nickelodeon, they'll still get you because Nickelodeon.
But you're sending them like legit cartoon.
That's what he was sending, right?
Handsy-pansy stuff.
Pull this up. Let's look at this real quick,
bro,
if we can.
At least Dr. Disrespect, did he send him any photos or anything?
I don't think so.
They were talking on Whisper with
Twitch, right?
I
don't know about that, but that's a whole other story, man. Like, like Australia, you can drink at 18. So you go to the clubs, man. Like, this is why you got to be careful, man. In Australia, the age of consent 16, and the age of drinking's 18. And so it's funny because Australia is more strict of a country than here, and that Dr. Disrespect getting taken down for that, like, I would understand that if that wasn't every live streamer. It seems like I think what's his name, Stretch.
Oh, Sketch.
Oh, Sketch. Sorry.
Sketch, yeah.
Shit.
You gotta say you're very funny. You did it on purpose, didn't you?
All right, but
oh god,
I can't even think.
Holy.
Yeah, well, it's like it's kind of like weird. I don't like. Me and my wife talk about this a lot. That the reason why we live in such a weird sexual culture is because they've gotten rid of all morality.
Yes,
and I'm no saint myself, so I'm not preaching to anyone. I'm saying this is that they've gotten rid of all morality. So everyone makes it like this whole idea of like texting a 17-year-old is the worst thing ever. But you can get your blown out by a dude on fucking OnlyFans and your friends will defend you, which in some countries you could be killed for that, right?
Yeah.
And then here, well, you text a 17-year-old and that's legal in the state over. now you're actually being prosecuted as a pedophile. And I just don't think that's the same thing. And I think it's kind of like this, like we selectively choose what we're outraged about. And like, you know, if you want to be mad about texting a 17-year-old, that's fine. But you should also be mad about Sketch, about these other people, right? You shouldn't be like choosing what you're mad about.
So it's funny because they brought up a good point with Dr. Disrespect. They went on him so hard, nonstop, for a couple of days on his ass. Understandable. But now it's Chris's turn. They're like, I don't touch it because he's, you know, T.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's like, okay, we're gonna just ignore this, let it pass away, and not bring it up at all. But now, all of a sudden, like for example, Sneeko, Nick Merckx, they brought it up, and they're like, oh, why are you talking about Kris? But he's doing way worse than Dr. Disrespect. Way worse. So I don't get it, bro. Way worse.
You know, it's because we live in and you talked about this, like, and this is kind of what happens when you live in first world countries where, like, you know, I call it a deregulated sexual marketplace. And what I mean by deregulated is, like, you can literally do anything assuming both people are, you know, age of consent legally, right?
Yeah.
But then once you do that, then, like, it kind of opens up the door for other sexual degeneracy. And then if you're from a protected class, like Kris right now, you're not going to get the brunt of the criticism like someone like a Dr. Disrespect who's married, heterosexual, and has kids. Yeah. That's why they went at him so hard, right? And he has a huge name. Yeah. But now with Kris, he's probably going to get a fraction of the criticism as a Dr. Disrespect.
You know what happened, right?
Because he's in that protected class.
Nah, but you know what happened with Disrespect. So maybe people have talked about this. Maybe it doesn't get onto the streaming channels, but you know, I was talking to a friend, and when Disrespect came out and started condemning the woke stuff, I said, I really hope he doesn't have any skeletons. And my friend was like, my friend goes, why? I go, because what happens is this. So we don't know anyone on the Epstein flight logs, right? We don't know anyone. And these are the biggest people in the world, right? And we even saw Alec Baldwin get let off on the murder charges. So if you're loyal to the regime, you don't get prosecuted at all. Like, everything's fine. So everyone's got some sketchy stuff in their life, meaning, like, in today's world, we went through the Me Too stuff and everything. You could, you know, he made me uncomfortable type of stuff, right? Yep. And, you know, quickly an unwarranted touch turns into sexual assault, turns into a predator. Like, we go down the hill really quickly. Yep. It doesn't mean real things don't happen. It doesn't mean there's not real problems. I'm not discounting anyone's stories. I'm saying, you know, things get taken out of control real quickly. And it's very interesting to me, at the moment that he spoke out, I go, because here's why. You know, someone like Nick Fuentes are people who, Nick Fuentes, I know him personally, he's not sexually active, he's like kind of
he's
like,
a virgin.
Yeah, he's a virgin, and everyone's like, he likes men and all this shit, and it's like, well, no, like, that's not what's going on here. And some people, you know, you guys are all LGBTQ about the asexual crowd. Some people are just not, the Bible says, awaken love before it's time. He's not into that. But people want to talk shit on him. Now, Nick gets a lot of shit talked on him because he says things people don't like.
Yeah.
Now, when you say things people don't like, they'll attack you for unrelated issues.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
they call me gay, too.
Well, yeah, and you look like you're about to pirate a ship in the Somali waters with that hood on, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm scared, bro.
Pirate a ship.
I'm scared.
It's cold in here, man.
I was like,
not all of us have your.
He's flabbergasted.
Yeah, not all of us have your German genetics where you could just take the cold, man. I'm freezing over here.
That's actually true. In Milwaukee, we're like, how are you not cold?
Yeah, dudes were walking around in shorts and like a golfing shirt. I was like, bro, it's cold.
It's cold over there?
Yeah, it was cold.
Well, we were just born ugly with patchy facial hair, so that's our downside. But we don't,
the whitest of the white, man.
We don't get cold. Nah, I wasn't throwing shade. I'm just saying, like,
you good.
I'm
gonna board a Somali ship.
Yeah, but on the joke is, I'm saying, like, with him, he started speaking out, and then when I saw the internal logs leak from was it Kick or Twitch? What was it?
Twitch.
Yeah,
the Whispers or whatever.
It was that they started sabotaging him when he spoke out against the stuff, because this stuff happened like 7 years earlier. Yeah. So what ended up happening was
like 2017, which is even worse because Twitch had it the whole time. But they decided to leak it now.
But that's what happens, right? Like with Trump, you're hearing prosecutions from, 20 years ago he touched my,
Jeannie Carroll was coming out of nowhere. He raped me, and then she goes on CNN with Anderson Cooper and says, grape isn't physical. What? And by definition, it's physical.
And
stupid.
She said, "Isn't grape sexy? Don't you think, Anderson? Grape is kind of sexy, isn't it?" Yeah. You're like, that's bizarre. So
and even he, let's go to a break. Like, he was even uncomfortable. He was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so
this chick is off a rocker.
Wilden.
Well, like, and so like the reality is like, look, I don't know anything about the situation. Honestly, I don't know. No one knows what he said. No one knows what went on. He could be the worst person in the world and have done something terribly illegal. But the timing reminds me that the entire justice system is about prosecuting people when it makes sense. So it's about shutting people up and putting them away, which is why I think Kamala Harris is going to have a lot of leaks in the next few months because they don't want her to run and they don't want her to be the front runner. So they're going to,
You don't think so?
No, not at all. No, I don't think so. I know so. They don't want her to run. So she's 100% out their pick. But I meant like this. It's like, I'm not defending Dr. Disrespect because I don't know what he did. I can't defend him or attack him. I have no idea. I'm not a low IQ, so I'm not going to attack him because I don't know. I have no idea what happened, right? I just moved from a country where what he did wouldn't have been illegal. It wouldn't have been illegal where I came from.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to attack him. But I don't know if what he did was illegal, so I'm not going to defend him. But I can say this, people are quick to judge on the internet with knowing nothing, and that goes to explain that everybody is stupid. And I don't know if we can say the R word on YouTube. Yes, no, maybe not. I'll hold that. But I just meant, there's no point in making judgments on people based off of small information you get from Twitter.
Yeah.
And no one gets that. Just figure it out.
But to your point, Cody Ko got recently exposed of, well, not recently, he's been exposed for years prior, having sex with Tana Mojo when she was like underage. And all of a sudden now it's coming up because a clip went viral. And because they like Cody Ko, they don't really like press him. It's like, oh, that was actually an act of, rape. But, well, when I say rape, I mean underage.
Yeah.
But as a result, because they like him, they're like, you know what, we'll let it slide. And I'm like, that's actually, in fact, what happened because they like Cody Ko. They're like, you know what, let's just like brush it off. I'm like, that's crazy. But if they don't like you, it's on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Dr. Disrespect. I mean, that's a good point you bring up is that, like, yeah, if you have controversial views and you say anything, like, yeah, like, they're going to come after you and everything. And in his case, they had that. The crazy part to me, I think what people really need to focus on is that Twitch had this for like 7 years and they didn't say shit. As a matter of fact, they settled out of court on it.
Yeah, they did actually.
So it wasn't illegal.
It was completely done. There was a whole civil case on it. They banned them from Twitch for it. They settled. He got a payout or whatever the hell it was, and then he ended up coming back on Twitch, right? I think he got back on Twitch after that. So, yeah.
Well, isn't Cody Canadian? No, is he not?
I don't know where he's from.
I'm kind of I don't know, but I'm just
it's crazy because I didn't know who he was, and then a bunch of girls were like, oh, Cody Ko, I love that YouTuber.
It's because he did. It's because he didn't. It's like this, man. It's like if a girl finds you attractive, then it's flirting. If she doesn't, it's harassment, right? And it's kind of the same thing.
It's true.
Where with guys, and also by the way, if you don't take her advances, then it's harassment, right? So a lot of people think that you're but that's not my point. I mean, like, if a girl comes on to you and then you turn her down, then she'll complain about something in the past. I'm just putting that on the record here. That's how it works. Because then they're afraid they're going to get exposed for being a whore, and then they try to pin you as being weird. But I will say this is like with Cody Ko and these people is like, if Cody were to come out and start talking and condemning characters and all this shit, then he'd go to jail for this.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. It's not about the girl shit. It's like, if you call out the woke shit and if you start talk, especially shit or whatever's going on, they'll demonetize you, cancel you, and it's a way to keep people in check. So you got to see with Cody Ko, that's an example of why people stay in line, because everyone's got some bullshit like skeleton. Even if it's like Alex Jones having adult content on his phone on the tab or whatever. He doesn't care, right? They couldn't get him on anything. It was years ago. It doesn't matter. It doesn't.
It's probably a lie.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, they can't get you for that. But now they got him for words he didn't like. He's not even the guy who took the lives of children from that elementary school.
He's got paid $1 billion.
Right, but they got him on more charges than they did on the person that took the lives of the kids. So they'll punish you for saying something more than they'll try to punish someone who actually committed a crime if you step out of line. And I've experienced that. You've experienced that. You guys both have. And it's remarkable. And like someone said, it's a slow news week. No, it's not. It's
what
like this
hell
is very serious.
Guys crazy?
Yeah,
like there's been so much stuff going on.
Correct.
Between the RNC, Trump getting assassinated, Biden dropping out. Cheeto literally just had her. Oh my God.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, we got that.
Cheeto, guys, who is the Secret Service director. That she had to testify today in front of Congress, right? And that was we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But yeah, this whole Kris thing. Well, what's Mr. Beast gonna do? What do you guys predict is gonna happen from here?
It's funny because at this point with Mr. Beast, I mean, what do you do as a creator? Your best friend was just exposed, so to speak, doing this, and it's like, do you defend him fully? Do you like come out and say, listen, what happened? It was in the past. How do you respond to this as a creator? And I think for his brand itself,
he's gonna ignore it.
Will it actually hurt his brand? I don't really know if it will. He's already too big to fail, and he's in line with certain people. So I think on some level, should you respond to this? No.
Andrew said it earlier. He said you don't get to that size unless you have done. You have to have a certain agenda and certain values to get to that level, which I believe, man. I mean, if you think about it, like Mr. Beast doesn't make any content that's controversial.
Yeah.
He doesn't take any hard stances on anything. He doesn't talk about anything. If he's very careful. Even when he went, did he even give a take on Joe Rogan on anything?
I don't think so.
When he went on Rogan,
Like, he didn't give a single take. No,
He
he didn't give a
about
take.
YouTube
He just
and-
talked about YouTube and like how he makes his videos. That's it. Like he didn't talk about, to me it's very obvious that like he probably has a publicist that tells him this is what you talk about, this is what you never talk about, and that's it.
Look at his challenge with all the YouTubers. They were all popular YouTubers, but they were inline YouTubers. If you know what I'm saying.
I mean, the most controversial guy, he had Logan Paul there.
Well, Logan's.
Yeah, but he's kind of like clout goblining. Like, if you're at a certain level and you have a certain amount of followers, people will excuse your shit again until you step back out of line.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
you're right, because I'll tell you this, Logan and them are super fucking woke. Like, they won't say certain things. They're super, like, feminist ideals, liberal. So that makes sense.
And when
That
the
makes sense, actually.
times were right, they hated on Trump. No, times are different. They with Trump. Is that crazy?
Dude, it's like lockstep, man. Like, a good example would be the right wing, right? They'll literally interview people who are cucks, or they'll interview people who are communists. But if you're, hard right wing, or you're pilled or whatever it is, they won't have you on their show, right? So like that.
He said
I
it.
saw what you just did there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think you're talking about
Well-
Peter Stein and Peterson and Destiny.
Well, like, but it's remarkable, right? It's remarkable that they'll associate. And you saw at the RNC, like, some of these people are my childhood friends. Like, I literally, some of these biggest people in the Republican Party, the biggest shows, are genuinely my friends. And I won't name them on the show here today, but we grew up together. And they'll interview random people who have like 200, 300 following. And you and I are there. You got millions of followers across my social media. I have a couple million, like 2.2, 2.1 million. And they just will not interview us. They won't talk to us or whatever. And it's not because you're irrelevant. More people watch your show than theirs. It's because you talk about things they don't want to talk about. So it's controlled opposition, man. It's like, it's about the money. It's about they call it the Benjamins for a reason.
Yeah. I see. That's a double meaning there.
And then last thing, he had a coworker, I forgot his name, that now left Mr. Beast's company and reads Bible verses and does Bible studies on his channel.
Oh,
and I
yeah,
just
yeah.
wonder what he knows about what happened, because he must know
yeah,
something,
yeah,
bro.
yeah. He left. Yeah.
And if
They said he still works with him, though. I saw someone
Yeah.
say he still works with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but that's what I read.
They said Jimmy knew.
and then
They said Jimmy still works with them.
Jimmy knew about what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Is
don't
Jimmy
know if that's
the church guy?
No. Well, this is another employee that I think used to work with them. But if he knew what happened, that's kind of crazy. If he knew.
With Mr. Beast, man, I'm not surprised. I think what I think he's gonna do is he's just gonna ignore everything. He's just gonna keep making content. Because keep in mind, guys, that like who watches Mr. Beast? Kids, bro. So are kids gonna like follow this type of stuff? Probably not.
No.
Kids aren't on Twitter. They're on TikTok. So I think this will blow over in a couple of days because at the end of the day, they're woke. He's in a protected class. When you're in that class, you're protected. And that's it.
And then to your point, Elijah, with Logan Paul, you know what he did that was really smart back in the Japan days when he did that video showing the dead body? He did apology, which was kind of okay. But you know what he did? Kept making content. He didn't stop. And that bypassed all the bad media because it's like, oh, you know what? He's still here. make
Also,
content.
he's liberal too.
Yeah.
Like,
Can I get
left-wing.
personal? I'm going
Yeah,
to
go
be
ahead.
personal without being personal.
Good.
So I work on a network called Censored TV. Okay. Censored.tv. You guys should check it out.
Go check it out, guys.
Our link's literally banned on Facebook, Instagram. You tag the link, it'll shut down your account. Don't do it.
Wow.
We're at that level. We're banned.
We're banned on
That's my
Facebook, too.
network. No, but like the link, our URL's banned. Okay. We have great members. We have Gavin McGinnis, who started Vice. Okay, you know Vice. He sold it and then it went bankrupt. So he started
Yeah.
Vice. He's a revolutionary. And so Gavin's a good friend. We have a lot of good people. Anthony Cumia, Anthony Nopi. These are serious people. Satellite radio. This is like these are the OGs. So we formed our own network off the grid. And there's some things that they've always told me, and I have found it to be very, 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 very true, is that people are always going to try to cancel you when you speak the truth. But so about 9 months before I left my last network, Gavin McGinnis called me. So just so you guys know, if you don't watch us, he started one of the largest, alternative media outlets. And he said, "Hey, man, I got to give you some advice." this is real story. I was the height of my career, doing really well, you know, getting a lot of live viewers, making, you know, I'm not going to explain, but making $12 a week. And he was like, he goes, you need to go buy all your own equipment. I go, what the fuck? He goes, yeah, and you need to build your own studio in your house. And I go, why? He goes, you need to learn everything. You need to learn production, sound editing, sound design. I go, why? He goes, oh, because they're going to try to take you out. They're going to try to fucking ruin your life. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, dude, how old are you? I was like, I'm like 28. He's like, all right, they're going to destroy you. I go, who's they? He goes, just listen, man, take my advice. Buy your own shit, build your own studio, learn the ins and out of production, because what you're going to have to do is you have to know how to do everything so you can't be canceled. I go, what do you mean canceled? I was new to all this. I was like, canceled? What does that mean? He goes, just, dude, just listen to me. He was like, you are at a point where you're surrounded by a lot of women, a lot of liberals, etc. They don't like what you're saying. You're gaining popularity. You're doing really well.
Yeah.
They're going to try to destroy you. You need to build your own studio, and you need to own everything. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, servers, backups, URLs. You have to own it all. And I go, why? He goes, the only way you can survive cancellation is if you just don't stop producing. And I go, well, I don't get it. He goes, you cannot rely on it. When people come after you, if you can make content, you win every time.
Yep.
You will always win if you can keep producing. They call it tweeting through it, but he goes, you cannot lose. And so I end up flying out my friend, end up, you know, learning everything. I'll just cut it short there. You know, maybe spend about $120K, bought a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
And and people have come after me all the time now. Now I just laugh. You can say anything about me you want. I don't even care. I won't sue you. I won't talk. I don't even care. I'm way past that.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you shut a person down who's self-sufficient?
Yep.
And I didn't get it at the time because I thought it was like, this guy, I mean, by the way, Gavin's filthy rich, right? He sold the company. He's doing very well. And I'm going, why is a rich guy from New York, you know, with a mustache that's like very talented, telling me to buy servers and,
Right.
you know, like shit. And the truth was, man, is like, yeah, if you can keep producing, the only reason you die is if you give up. And here's what I was going to say. The reason why we know Kris is guilty is because he deleted all his tweets.
Boom.
So that's what I was going to
That's
say.
how
Like,
you know.
well, like in Dr. Disrespect too, like that's why I said he should have just said, fuck you, and then just kept producing and then said, live tonight.
Yeah.
It's the stream.
Yeah.
And then just kept going.
Oh,
and he would have been
shit.
good.
Yeah.
Lean into it and just keep making content.
Yeah, but like, because nobody cares, right? I mean, we're in an ethnic cleansing in Gaza, so who, like, they can get away with that? Why? Because every day they go, oh, we're not doing that. It's not happening. We like our hostages, and they get away with it. So the way I look at it is, if someone tries to cancel you and they're wrong, just keep producing. And so Mr. Beast will not stop. He won't be canceled. But Kris deleting his texts, I would say no brand deals for him. Period. Going forward, he's not going to get any. So that's my opinion.
You know who did that very well? Sketch. Even though I don't subscribe to his like way of life, what he did was keep making content.
Yeah, and he accepted it. He went,
People forgot about it.
You know the crazy part. Well, he's also in that protected class.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's the thing: if you're like a wokey and you do some fuck shit, you're okay. But if you're like right leaning and you do some fuck shit, they're gonna come after you. Everyone's gonna come after you.
Yeah.
Like, dude, there's so many people that like, came out to like defend him and shit like that. Like. All the bots, Kai Cenat, all these guys came out to defend Sketch, but like the dude lied about being like mentally handicapped and make it. You want to talk to him in Vegas, and you said that he's perfectly fine. He doesn't really talk like that,
Bro, I was just
he
like,
doesn't do any of those ticks or any of that stuff.
Is it fake?
It's all fake.
dude, it's fake, bro. Yo,
Bro, he does this shit.
He was normal.
That's an insult to the people that really suffer
talking
through
to
that.
people, laughing. I was like, this nigga's. Wait, oh, yeah, he's not. You know,
He's not handicapped.
times
yeah,
that.
he's not handicapped. But it's like, yo, this is all for content.